to knock me out, and I wake up, and they got them phones out, I'm gonna shoot the people with the phone.
Hey, man. Yo, listen, gotta do what you gotta do. The world cannot see this. Listen, nothing gives a wounded person more power than humiliation. Okay. Don't Baki, I mean, Baki's dad, don't he call his wife like a pet or something like that? A menacing show. Okay, menacing. But if you want to see straight hands, this is the show for you, man.
Baki is the physical embodiment of ignorance would be an understatement. This show has weaponized the concept of schizophrenia into a power system, so much so to the point that whoever can gaslight their opponent better just wins the fight. And on top of all that nonsense, why is there so much pee?
Whoa. Now, last time I checked, I went to the bathroom. My pee ranges from clear to like yellowish, you know what I'm saying, tint. All right. Me personally, I've never had white pee in my life. So, Yujiro Hamna, all right, call his wife a pet. But I ain't never seen white pee in my life. This animation studio, y'all are freaked out on a whole nother level.
The way Baki's narrator is capable of making me believe absolutely anything needs to be studied. Like, there was one time Baki was fighting a real-life chimera ant, and the narrator would be like, so, yes, Baki is using a well-known technique called shadow boxing. No, he's not. He's taking real-life damage. Ref, do something. That's enough yapping though. Let's get straight into the meat and potatoes. But before we can get into the meat and potatoes, I gotta give a huge thank you to the homies over at Opera GX for sponsoring today's video. When it comes to browsers,
oh yeah, link in the description. Peek. Yep. There we go.
Today I want to talk about one of the most anticipated anime matchups in the history of anime. It's even on par with things like Luffy vs Akainu or even Luffy vs Blackbeard, because Baki vs Yu.
Luffy versus anybody not good. All right. Whole show trash. All right. I know you looking at your screen with all types of hate. You're clenching your teeth together, looking at the screen. You're gonna have to get over it, buddy. It's the truth.
Hanma has been set up and hyped up since 1991. But before we can go into that, we gotta talk about the build-up. Baki and the gang just finished fighting, if you want to call it that, an 8'9" prehistoric caveman in a King of the Hill style tournament. And Baki technically ended up beating Pickle. And after managing to...
Were they just...
build up. Baki and the gang just finished fighting.
This is not fighting. Why are they trying to... Yo.
If you want to call it that.
Freaky boys sticking their tongues down each other's esophagus to try to strangle them. This is not fighting. All right.
An 8'9"
It's freaky.
Prehistoric caveman in a King of the Hill style tournament, and Baki technically ended up beating Pickle. And after managing to also beat Oliver Biscuit in the previous season, the people are slowly starting to realize that Baki might actually be able to stand against Yujiro. They end up showing us what each person has been up to since fighting Lore Accurate Tsukasa, and after scanning Baki's brain, they come to the conclusion that his cerebrum literally resembles Shaitan, and that this could be the reason for Baki's strength. We then cut over to Baki's girl getting a flashback from Muhammad Ali Jr., and she was all up on him, hugging him.
Jordy with the dono. Big W.
So long to the point that her clothes got drenched in his tears. Like, this is nasty. Look at the way it's dripping. This got to be at least 600 bodies. If I was Muhammad Ali Jr., I would have sued for defamation of character. After that, we end up cutting over to my goat, Sea King Ratsu, who was known for being able to run on water and literally summoned his own stand in his fight against Pickle. He did end up losing his leg. So what do you think this shonen protagonist goes and does with his life? Is it A, start fighting ancient aliens? Is it B, retire and go back to China? Or possibly C, become a Marvel rival streamer? Or maybe even D, become a boxer? If you guys become a boxer, you are correct. Because tell me why this JoJo's character decided to dedicate the rest of his entire arc to climbing his way up the boxing rankings, whilst being assisted by Genji Kamigawa and a pimp named Slickback. And the craziest part about all of this is that he's actually losing some of these fights. You know, Baki is really a nonsensical show. When I get perplexed by characters picking somewhat...
Okay, I'm gonna spoil it. The man cave Piccolo is overpowered. but still loses to Yujiro. I feel like Yujiro can beat Omni-Man at this point. Yo, I don't think many people are beating Yujiro. Look, Buddy has a freaking racetrack in his back. When he flex like these, you see freaking sand dunes and sand whatever, you know, the little waves that be insane. Okay, insane. Buddy's too strong, bro. You know who Yujiro could beat? The Doomslayer, okay? That trash piece of work people try to convince me could beat DBZ characters. Yo, get out of here, all right?
Career paths. This is like when Yamcha decided he was going to become a pro baseball player. This is not fair. Look at the way he did Devin Haney, turned his humorous into jollof rice. Imagine dedicating your entire life to becoming a pro boxer, and now your career is over because they made you spar Prime Mr. Miyagi. I'd be sick. After that Family Guy cutaway segment, we spin over to Baki. He's talking with the closest thing he's had to like a father figure, and we end up finding out some more lore about why Baki and Yujiro have such generational beef. 5 years ago, a young Baki had his first fight with his dad, and it's safe to say he got laid out. Turns out Baki's mother was actually married to this rich Japanese businessman, and her life was basically set up perfectly. But one day, she came face to face with Yujiro Hanma and watched him decimate his opponent. Like I'm pretty sure this guy is dead. And this yandere freak actually got turned on by that, which basically caused her to wittingly...
Yo, shout out to all my yanderes out there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep the world spinning. Just remember, all right? I gave you praise. Keep doing your thing, all right?
Leave her life of luxury and go to get busy with Yujiro. I mean, I say willingly, but this man Yujiro broke into her hotel, packed up everyone including her husband, and then told her she's going to give birth to his child. I know, it doesn't get much better, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing out a bunch of other crucial details too. After birthing Baki, she basically trained him up to be the next Captain America, giving him all the necessary facilities to one day be strong enough to fight his dad, and she did all this because she thought it would make Yujiro love her. But she wasn't really familiar with Yujiro's game. I'm pretty sure this is like the second or maybe even the third time he's pulled some nonsense like this, just spreading his genes all over the place, moving like Genghis Khan. Despite all he went through, Baki still loves his mother, because when his pops was about to end him off, his mother stepped in defending Baki and even landing an overhand right on the ogre. But you know, this is Yujiro. Male, female, old, young. What did Batman say again? The hammer of justice is unisex, because Yujiro begins squeezing her to death. And is she enjoying it? Man, women on Twitter will say old school relationships were way more romantic than today, just for the average husband in the 1900s to turn into prime Yujiro if dinner wasn't ready after they came back from their 9 to 5.
I was raised in a broken and abusive household.
This chicken is cold.
When I turned 17, I ran away to Hong Kong, where I met Triad boss Kenny Wu, my first love.
Bitch, this chicken is cold.
So now you're up to date with the lore.
Crazy.
I'd say Baki is pretty justified to hate Yujiro, but even despite this, on some fourth in timing, Baki doesn't actually despise his father. We now cut over to Yujiro, and they spend the next 2 episodes hyping up his strength even more than they already did. First off, we get to see Oliver Biscuit go up against Yujiro, because Yujiro basically thinks he's gone soft after he lost the ones to Baki. Oliver tees up and throws an overhand straight from Jahannam, but Yujiro punches bro so hard the gloves engulfed his face, sending him flying. He practically no-diffed one of the top 5 strongest characters in the verse. Oliver spins back and tries to make it a contest of strength, but Yujiro just lil bros.
Yo, look at my man's trembling, bro.
Characters in the verse. Oliver spins back and tries to make it a contest
like, bro, there's just some things as a man, all right? If another man puts you in that position, one of y'all gotta go, okay? Either you gotta go because you can't live like that, or he gotta go because the world can't know he did you like that. And this is one of them things. Look at my man's face, bro. He's trembling, clenching his jaws, bro.
Strength, but Yujiro just
got this man pleading, back veins popping. Oh no! Somebody do this to me, yo. My weapon shall prosper. All right. I don't care what God said.
Lil bro's my goat. This is like when they bring back the main antagonist from a previous arc just to use him as like a power gap. We cut over to that one old guy from Inazuma 11 and he begins to bribe the Prime Minister of Japan just to ensure that Baki and Yujiro can win the fair ones without any interference. And you're probably thinking, yeah, you know, they're pretty strong, but surely they can't be stronger than an entire country. Incorrect. Yujiro's threat level is so high that over 100 countries have entered a treaty of friendship with him, including the United States during the Obama administration and during the Bush administration. It's only a matter of fact until bro visits Donald Trump. And I know, you're probably thinking, come on Senshi, this one man surely doesn't have an actual peace treaty with the US of A. The same USA that put tariffs on my day one homie King Julian over in Madagascar. The same USA where eggs cost the same as a Nintendo Switch 2 game. The same USA
All right, we got to chill on the eggs jokes though. All right, Publix, 30 count of eggs, $6.50. Love to see it. Okay,
that's the bomb countries in WhatsApp conversations. That USA, yes. Because in the very next scene, Barack Obama flies to Japan and meets with the most powerful people from the world to discuss the World War III level event that could ensue if Baki and Yujiro were to fight. And you know, say what you will about dubbed anime, but Baki absolutely nailed the dubbed voice of Obama here.
I understand. He's that Superboy who kidnapped President Bosch,
Okay.
is that right?
Yujiro pulls up to this meeting after taking out the entire security and basically tells the most important people in the world to not get involved in his fight between him and his son. And look at Obama, got him out here looking like Adam Warlock. Don't be rash. We cut over to Baki, and this is where he begins to become straight up schizophrenic. Completely unrelated though. Why is this Sam Sulek lookalike dressed as Steve from Minecraft? He begins yapping to himself in a completely empty room as slowly but surely an image of his dad begins to form in front of him to the point that his girlfriend is actually convinced he's cheating on him. Now, I've spoken to myself plenty of times, you know, like when you're so locked in and deep in the zone, you know, in that monk mode, it's not uncommon to do so. But where I really started to lose it is when Baki was in his training room. Mind you, this is the same training room where he fought pre-transformation Cell. He begins to converse with a roach. Like he is no joke idolizing and showing sincere gratitude to this roach, a cockroach, for teaching him a brand new technique that allows him to utilize the flash step by turning his body into fufu. And I'm not gonna lie, the flash step is tough, don't get me wrong, but come on, you mean to tell me this guy isn't going insane? Look at the way bro is bowing to it. This is the level of delusion people must think I have when I tell them that I wholeheartedly believe any man can beat any dog. I don't care if you show me a kangaroo or a mastiff or Scooby-Doo. I got me in 5.
Okay. Can man beat any dog? Yes. Can any man beat any dog? No. That is just not true. Okay. That is not true at all. I want you to go to a Walmart parking lot near you. I want you to camp out with one of those like little chairs you bring to sit on the lawn. You know, it got like the 4 things. You do like this and it turns into a chair. Take that, put that down on the ground, sit there. And I want you to look at the men who walk through that building. Okay. Now you're going to see some people who you're like, yo, I don't care if this the wildest Rottweiler there is. Buddy is GG in that thing in under a minute. But there's going to be a lot of them guys that walk in that you're going to be like, yo, a Chihuahua might get away with one. Okay.
Like I'm putting it in 7 positions for 70 minutes, life or death. There is no way I'm losing to a dog. The dog better be worried about losing to me. People out here thinking these dogs are Cerberus from Hades. I'll let it be known right now. Any dog, I'm walking out looking like frag. Let me know in the comments if you think you're beating a dog or if I'm tripping. Alright,
I feel like I could beat most dogs. Okay. I don't know. Maybe there's a dog out there I have never seen. I think most dogs I'm getting a 1-ups on, but I'm not gonna jump out the window to say I'm getting all of them. All right.
Enough yapping. Let the squabble commence. After Baki has been trying to rage bait Yujiro for the past 3 encounters, Yujiro invites Baki for dinner, and Baki pulls up dressed as Daquan in 2018. And you know, I always knew Yujiro was a deadbeat, but I didn't know he was rich. These guys are dining in the top floor of the Burj Khalifa, whole time Baki lives in the slums of O Block. Yujiro out here moving like Anthony Edwards. Look at the way he stepped out, dripped to the bone in a Louis Vuitton suit. They start eating and it's kinda wholesome. Yujiro is teaching Baki how to use the cutlery, and it seems like a genuine father-son moment, but we all know that wasn't going to last long, because after the dessert, Baki straight up asks his dad why he killed his mother, and this must have been the final straw of rage bait for Yujiro. They legit turn into the meme. Baki and Yujiro are squaring up, releasing their aura to the point that the entire building begins to shake. That's when Yujiro turns Baki into a Beyblade, sending him flying. He then releases his Nen before speed blitzing him and smacking his ass so hard he gets flung through the window. Then he tries to hit his hand before Spartan kicking him into the next room. This was just for asking a normal question. Imagine what would have happened if Baki failed a math test. Yujiro proceeds to pick him up by the face and presses him up against the glass before jumping from the top rope like Broly, Batista bombing his own son into a 2009 Chrysler. And then the narrator just comes in like Robo Senku, trying to gaslight me into thinking this is remotely possible for regular humans. Baki asks for a hand up before pimp slapping his dad, but Yujiro just stands there, unfazed, returning the favor, sending Baki flying flying out of bounds like a Bro Holla stage out. Baki continues to try and land a hit on Yujiro, but he's full countering everything. Yujiro makes a call out to the iconic whip strike.
Why my man standing like that?
But he's full countering everything. Yujiro makes
Yo, my man got a mean switch in his hip right there.
A call out to the iconic whip strike from part 1 and begins loosening his muscles before smacking Baki like prime Luffy. I know that hurts. This is how it feels to go up against Mr. Fantastic after the season 2 buffs. Baki decides to return the favor, and I thought he finally landed the first blow just for the next frame to pad over to Yujiro. He looks like he's clenching his butt cheeks, trying to hold in the pain. Baki takes on a fighting pose looking like Marshiba from Ippo before he tries to close the distance just to get full countered again. Yujiro genuinely seems upset with the fact that Baki isn't trying and basically just tells him to lock in. That's when he finally adopts the technique his sensei taught him, slowly turning his body into okra soup, then launching himself at the speed of a life-size cockroach towards his pops, breaking the sound barrier, spearing him. But Yujiro manages to stop it, so Baki steps back and hits him with an Iron Fist combo, sending him flying through like 7 bathroom stalls. And they continue to squabble like Yuji and Choso, but this is Yujiro Hanma. He picks up Baki and pile drives him through straight concrete, and as they step outside, they see a giant crowd of people who have gathered to watch this squabble. To make a long story short, imagine you're in high school and the 2 strongest kids from 2 nearby schools were about to throw down, and each side is like come together to watch it happen. That's basically what happened here. All people from different races, religions, and regions came together to watch this father-son fight.
Wow.
Yujiro asks Baki to run it on another day because there are too many people, and Baki basically calls him a pussy because he's scared of being laid out in front of all these people. He wasted no time using his cockroach technique, landing a filthy 3-piece combo on Yujiro, and it was so fast that the average human was unable to even realize what had happened. All they saw was the aftermath of Yujiro Hanma's nose bleeding. I'm genuinely not even sure that we've seen this guy bleed in the entire series. Baki might actually stand a chance. He charges up another ult. Cockroach breathing. Second form. Asmongold strike. Just for Yujiro to eat it and land a Yusuke overhand right from Spirit World. Look at the form and oh nah. If someone takes a pic of me after I get sent flying through the air like Carti, I'm pulling a Charleston White.
Listen, if a nigga knock me out and I wake up and they got them phones out, I'm gonna shoot the people with the phone.
Hey, man. Yo, listen, gotta do what you gotta do. The world cannot see this. Listen, nobody gives, nothing gives a wounded person more power than humiliation. Okay, the thought of humiliation, people turn into Superman. Okay, I promise you. All right,
cause they gonna cause more damage than the nigga that knocked me out.
Baki gets up and they start going hit for hit. I'm talking blow for blow. It really looks like they are enjoying themselves. They pull guard and turns out the gold Pickle is watching from the skies like Crollo as Baki decides to take up his Triceratops pose, leaving Yujiro perplexed. And as we know by now, anything these guys imagine actually comes to life because the bystanders claim they can see this prehistoric creature. Baki lunges into his Triceratops fist attack and Yujiro gets pushed all the way back, destroying a minivan in the process. He then gets up like that was decent as he creates his own fist technique like Akashi Hatake and whips out the demon back, damn near going Super Saiyan. He lets out 3 whole ass literal ki blasts. Like to this day, we have not gotten an explanation for this. You know what? Why am I even questioning it? This is Baki. Anything goes. Baki calls the technique Mickey because it did no damage. They start walking towards each other, but Baki is really a speed demon because he uses the 0.1 second time skip punch from hit just for this light skinned Ashton Hall level oral farmer to catch himself at the very last minute. Yujiro says he's pleased about how Baki is the first person to drop him like that in decades.
Bro, imagine getting hit like you never got hit before. You catch yourself with your nose and you stand up with that smirk on your face. This man's a demon, bruh. Yo, shout out Baki standing in a fight. Somebody withhold or withstand a blow like that from me. GG's, buddy. I'm running.
So he grabs him and then proceeds to say, let it rip, before turning him into a Beyblade and following it up with a Sanji up special, and then combo extending into a knee straight into a gut check. Damn! And as it seems like it's about to end, Pickle pulls up trying to get a piece of the squabble, but everyone knows you should never interfere with a fair squabble. So Baki knocks out his tooth, uses real life Conqueror's Haki, and puts Tarzan in timeout like a good boy. Baki and Yujiro get back to boxing, and Yujiro returns the favor, folding Baki like a lawn chair, and this man was seriously about to curb stomp his own son. Look at the form. I wanna be kung fu fighting. Baki dodges and they enter yet another stalemate. They both decide to put their hands in their pockets and wait for the other person to make their move, similar to like a Wild West shootout.
thought they
But
was about to go
Yujiro
straight
uses the
feet.
ancient parenting technique of counting down to 5, using mental warfare on Baki. So he begins to count down, and as he gets to 1, Baki tries to pull out his hands to counter his father, but Yujiro still manages to land the first blow, just for Baki to pull out some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu counter technique, putting Yujiro in a reverse armbar. Look at his arm out here looking like one big veiny dick. And instead of just snapping his arm, Baki starts talking crazy. Why would you antagonize a 7'9", 500-pound demon with more testosterone than David Goggins and Chris Bumstead combined? Yujiro pulls up his right arm and palm strikes the concrete, shattering the ground beneath them, allowing him to escape. If I put someone in an armbar and they pull some BS like this, I'm quitting the fight. And Baki must agree with me because bro peed his pants. Yujiro continues the full court press and hits Baki with a flying dragon fist and clears the quick time event, following up with a Dempsey roll finisher, continuing his barrage of punches. Baki still manages to get up as his own demon back finally gets exposed, but just when I thought we'd reach the peak of tomfoolery, a shadow beast emerges behind Baki as Yujiro utters the words,
It's
Dad.
a roach.
What? Yujiro Hanma's dad, Yuichiro Hanma, has manifested in spirit to violate his own son for struggling to beat his grandson. What in the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is even happening? I cannot give you one logical reason as to why bro would just randomly show up. Who summoned him? And of course, the narrator just comes in and gives us a backstory to let everyone know that this guy is a Hall of Fame menace to the nation. To catch you guys up, we gotta go back to the Battle of Okinawa during World War II in 1945. The US tried to invade this island of Okinawa for 6 months straight, but there was this one island so small it wasn't even like on any maps. You could compare it to like God Valley of One Piece. The US military threw over 1,000 tons of explosions onto this island. You're probably thinking, who the hell was on this island? Conquest? But no, all that was used for a single person, Yuichiro Hanma. And the craziest part is, when they went to explore the island to see whether it was clear, this soldier of Shaitan was unscathed before he single-handedly squad wiped the entire squadron, which granted him the title of the first man to defeat America. Now it turns out he actually had this special technique called dress, and of course he passed it down to Yujiro. So Yujiro is so kind to give us a live demonstration of this technique. He foot swabs Baki, putting him in a reverse full Nelson before he starts flinging him around like a pair of nunchucks. Yes, this man Yujiro is whipping around a 200-pound Baki like a piece of string cheese. This is the same nonsense Luffy was doing.
Hold up, you said leave me on that island with... You want to be left on an island with that thing? Yo, listen.
To Kaido after going into Gear 5, but he doesn't just stop there. He begins to use Baki's body and starts smacking it against the car, and during all this, Baki is conscious as he claims to be completely fine. I'm convinced this man has real life durability negation. He steps back, giving Yujiro straight toes to the jaw, overhand right to the face, shin bone to the throat, Spartan kick to the butt. Damn, what a combo. Yujiro continues like an inner monologue and continues to yap away, explaining how he became so strong he started getting bored because of the lack of challenge. This is basically what we call the One Punch Man syndrome. But before he can finish his speech, Baki hits him with the Arlong axe kick, almost completely laying him out. This match has been one giant game of ping pong. They just keep knocking each other down. That's when Baki's girlfriend comes in and starts saying what we are all thinking. Stop the yapping and just box. They throw like one set of combos and begin talking about the lore of Kung Fu Panda 2 and how it like helped them elevate to a higher level. Just box. They get back to boxing and
leave me on the island with Holla, we cause an earth. Now, how exactly do you think we're gonna do that? All right, please, as descriptive as possible.
What the hell are you talking about?
they continue to use every single technique that they've learned throughout the series, and I can't help to get hyped seeing Baki actually going toe to toe with his pops. He tried using the same power grab Yujiro used on him earlier, but he gets up and claps Baki's head, popping both his eardrums. And that's when we cut over to these random archaeologists discovering some 10,000-year-old hieroglyphics that quite literally showcase a devil with the same demon back as Yujiro about to fight a smaller devil who also possesses the demon back with a bunch of random people surrounding them, cheering them on. They are basically saying that the Baki vs Yujiro fight has been prophesized since the beginning of time. What in the Naruto vs Sasuke levels of bullshit is this, bro? They are legit. They really told us this load of barnacles and expected us to eat it up? Because I absolutely will. If anything, this is older level foreshadowing, peak writing. We get back to the squabble and they both willingly decided that they are going to duke it out. No defense as they go blow for blow to see who remains standing the longest. This is what I like to see, an ignorant display of violence. Baki is landing a 50 hit sparking 0 combo, but that's when Yujiro grabs Baki and hugs him damn near unconscious the same way he did his mother. And then we just find out that Yujiro has the ability to see injuries of people as he begins like listing all of Baki's injuries. Fractured mandible, mental tubercle bone fractured, orbital bone fractured, nasal collapsed, teeth damaged beyond repair, both eardrums burst, vertebrae fractured, internal bleeding throughout the body, and internal organ failure. What the actual hell? I was convinced this was it. Surely they are done. But this is Baki. On his Rock Lee timing, gets up whilst being unable to hear and manifests his fighting spirit into physical form to continue running the ones of Yujiro. And this is where the iconic scene begins, as Yujiro goes into pure schizo mode and begins chefing up a 5-star meal out of thin air, finally cooking for Baki as he always wanted to. This scene gets me every time. When I was broke, I actually tried to learn this method. I'd watch YouTube videos of people eating certain foods and imagine myself eating it. This would probably make me a top tier in the Bakiverse alone. And after they finish their eats, Yujiro finally admits defeat and gives Baki his flowers after crowning him as the new strongest in the world. But sadly, because Baki's eardrums are popped, he didn't even get to realize that he was crowned the winner and ended up admitting defeat to his father. Beautiful. This is absolute cinema, absolutely sensational. If I had to describe Baki for what it is, I'd say it's like a cross mix between JoJo's Bizarre Adventures and the Boondocks. The ability to draw in real life people and events and then like mixing them up with fantasy and a level of nonsense and zestiness is something that just hits the spot after you watch a heavy show like Tokyo Ghoul or Attack on Titan.
Come on, man. Talk about the GOATs. I only like heavy shows. I don't really like I do need to get into slice of life animes because, you know, good days, rainbows, and sunshine. I need more of that. All these thought-provoking things might be messing up my brain.
Perfectly executes what it wants to do. Hey, appreciate you guys for sticking to the end. Again, huge shout out to the mandem over at Opera GX for supporting your boy. Make sure you download Opera GX from the link in my description. Don't forget to subscribe. More videos and more uploads coming soon. I'm 100% going to increase the upload frequency so I can upload more videos. Inazuma 11 soon. Don't think I haven't forgot, guys. Inazuma 11 is coming soon. I've just been a little bit busy with university and Marvel Rivals. So some of you guys actually managed to find me in the lobbies, which was crazy to me. Like you guys just finding me like playing the game. But yeah, YouTube think you'll like this video on screen next. So check it out. That's it from me.
All right, buddy said we're going to be causing earthquakes fighting. Oh, man. Oh, brother.
So when the metal hit his mug, he just sunk in place. 100K Holla, chillin' Bahamas. Come home to your crib and throw in your mama.